Good day everyone. So today we are going to carry out some masonry works, particularly mold designs on the edges of our landing on the very top floor of our 10-bedroom apartment. Now currently we are looking at the mason securing the steel pipe in place with the help of some concrete nails. Now on top of the plate we have a spirit level, and that is to ensure that the pipe is straight, so that once we put up the molds, they are all aligned before pouring in the mortar mixture to cast the mold. Now he's also checking it once again at this end. And once he's fully satisfied that he's got a straight alignment across the edge of the wall, he draws a line with a chalk or any sort of marker that you may have. So over here you can see that he's drawing the line, and this will be where the edges of the mold will be placed. He repeats the same process on the opposite end of the wall. You'd also notice that he secures the concrete nail in a plier before hitting it with the hammer, and this is to prevent any injury or potentially the hammer hitting on his fingers. So this end of the wall is also secured and marked up, as you can see. So now all the three corners are marked up, and he's begun the process of chiseling on the walls or creating a rough surface with a hammer, and this is basically done to help get an uneven or a rough surface to bond much better once it's poured inside the molds. Now over here the mason is securing some binding wires onto the concrete nails that were earlier nailed into the walls. Now the binding wire is to provide extra support for the molds when the mortar is poured in place. Now we take a close look once the binding wire is secured on the concrete nails, ready for the molds to be installed. So over here you can see this is how the molds look like. And before you can use the molds or set them in place, you must firstly clean them up, after which you'd have to grease or lubricate the inside parts of the molds where the mortar mixture will be poured. So over here we're using some vegetable oil to grease or to lubricate the inside of the molds. So firstly, you notice that he pours a decent amount of the oil onto the mold, after which he uses a brush to just go over the surface, ensuring that every bit inside the mold is well polished. So now our mason begins the set out process. Again, he's using the binding wires to secure the molds in place, and the concrete nails providing additional support. And once the molds are aligned, he will place a 2x2 piece of wood on the base of the mold to hold it steady and firmly in place. So over here, once again, he's securing the wood permanently in place with a concrete nail, and this will help for the mold to carry the full weight of the mortar once it's poured in. So now he will step back just to get a good view and ensure that the mold is in a straight line and the support is also well aligned at the base to support it. So he's just hammering in the final nail once he's satisfied that the mold is solid and correctly secure. So now the molds have been installed along the full length of the wall, and at this point our mason is going to further tighten up the ends of the mold with some of the binding wire to ensure that all the joints are tightened up together, and this will avoid any sort of possible spillage when the mortar is poured into the molds. Once again, he's going to take the spirit level to check if it's all aligned. And once he's satisfied with the alignment, he will then tighten the binding wire onto the concrete nail. So whilst he's making his final checks, I'm going to pan the camera along the edges of the landing area. And here's a close-up look of the binding wire that's been secured on the nails. So right now we began mixing the mortar that will be poured in our molds. And for this particular mixture, we're using quarry dust and cement with water to create much lighter and a bit more fluid mix, which makes it easier to pour it into the molds. So once our mason is satisfied with the consistency of the mortar, he begins to shovel it into the bucket. Now over here you can see that he's still making sure that is well mixed up and ready to pour it into the mold to create our desired design for the area. So gently, you see he's pouring the first bucket into the mold. Now he's going to grab his trowel and spread the mortar evenly into the mold. Okay, so our second bucket is here, and once again he's going to gently pour it along the mold, and you shake the bucket to ensure that any bits in it comes out. Then he grabs hold of his trowel again and spreads it further. So this job actually demands a lot of patience and skill just to ensure that it's done neatly and at the same time with precision. Now, once again, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for watching our videos and for your comments. We greatly appreciate it, and I'll kindly ask that if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Subscribe to the channel. Click the like button if you love the video, and also do click the notification bell so that you do not miss out on any of the videos that we post. And leave us a comment if there's something that you like to see, or if you have any questions. Don't be shy, please leave us a comment and we'll respond to your comments as well. Over here, the mason is gently pushing or spreading the mortar further down to make sure that the bits or the parts that are thicker is all leveled and even on the top of the mold. So I'm going to try and step down so that we can have a close-up look of the work and just see how it looks like. So here's the actual mold, and you can see that it's all leveled at the top bit. So that's what we're trying to achieve here, a very smooth and level surface all throughout. So you can see that the first section that was cast is dried and the molds have been taken down, and the other two sections we've just poured in fresh mortar and waiting for it to dry. So I'm going to pan the camera back slowly and we can have a good look at the dried cast. So here we go. Very lovely finish, beautifully done, and hopefully we'll get to show you the finished result.